Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking you through why I run in these Barefoot running shoes. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why I choose / my experience with running in these. These are Vivo Barefoot shoes, and when I say these are barefoot, I mean they have literally nothing in the sole. They're hardly even a shoe, to be honest. You may have noticed in some of my previous videos that I run in these or in the trail version of these. A little bit muddy. They've been used, obviously. Yeah, and I was out running the other day doing an easy run. It was just an easy hour, but I was really trying to concentrate on my running form, and I kind of had a bit of an epiphany, I suppose, in that how much these shoes have helped with my running form and why I solely run in these, from everything from 5k marathon, and I'm going to be doing my Ironman in these. So yeah, there's a few points that I wanted to try and get across in this video. Hopefully I can hit them all and give you an understanding as to why I run in these, the benefits that, you know, I'm not saying that this is for everyone and everyone should be running in barefoot shoes, but I'm going to give you my experience with running in them, why I've chosen to run in them. I have been running for a few years now, but I don't know what's best for everyone. I know what works for me, so I don't want to be advising anything wrongly. So, you know, take what I say with a pinch of salt and speak to someone, a professional, if you try and run in whatever running shoes you decide to run in. But I'd love to hear your feedback on what running shoes you use and why you use them, and whether you think that me attempting an Ironman in barefoot shoes is a good idea. I can almost guess the answer. It's probably a no, but I still like to hear it. Before I talk about anything else, let me run through what kind of led me to barefoot running and barefoot shoes. So my dad, he is a runner, was a runner, doesn't do it so much anymore, but he's done marathons. He was training for Ironman as well, which has kind of been a massive role model for me, and why really I've kind of started it all. He very much got me into it. Basically, let's try and keep this really short. So my dad gave me a pair of Sauconys, I think they were. I'll see if I can put a picture up somewhere so you can see what they were like. Now, for the first few weeks, these were brilliant, but very quickly I noticed that I got, basically on the inside of my ankles and the outside of my knees, I got horrendous pain when running. So it was okay for the shorter distances, but when I started going up, like I used them for my first half marathon. Like I said, they were good for the short distances, but when I got to the longer stuff, they really hurt the inside of my ankle and the outside of my knee. Obviously, that's not good. You don't want pain when running. Now, traditionally, you would have thought it's the other way around. You would have thought over the long distances, a more cushioned sole would help with pain. But I found it to be the opposite, which was really weird. Like I say, this is just my experience. I don't recommend this. Yeah, so long story short, I got pain in traditional running shoes. I did some research into this. I was very new to running, so I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and you know, reading up about running form, you shouldn't be getting pain, whatever. Everyone says it's all to do with your running form. And then I found a lot of studies which said a set of these were the first ever pair that I bought, help with running form. Me being a bit, so basically I kind of go all in for everything, hence with this Ironman I go kind of all in and go for it. I decided to spend £120 on these exact shoes. These were my first ever pair. After having bought these, I read a lot about that you should really only do these for short runs to begin with, and kind of you need to get used to them, even do walks in them before you start running. I jumped straight in and started running in them. Now, like I say, this was just my experience, but instantly had no pain. I don't know what it was. I presume basically that it was to do with my running form. So probably on your more traditional running shoe, what felt like was that I was running like this. So my foot was really sort of angling inwards, which was then causing pain on the inside of my ankle, which would be here, and then the outside of my knee, which would be up here. But these, I don't know why. Again, I don't know the science behind this. This is just my experience. Running with these, it felt like I could run more on the outside of my foot, on the ball of my toe like this, and then obviously you will then end up heel striking, so it kind of goes like outside, full foot, like front heel foot, heel, and then it kind of goes like that, sort of. But yeah, basically I got no pain, and from there on, again, I was quite new to running. I decided, well, if I'm getting no pain, then these must be the shoe for me. I'm going to say it once more, this is just my experience. Don't go buying yourself a £120 pair of Vivo Barefoot shoes with literally nothing on the sole in the hope that your running will improve. This is just my experience. It must be 3 years now. I've been running in barefoot shoes, and I've, touched wood, a lot of wood, not had one injury from running. Take that as you will. Like I say, this might not be the same for you. Don't go buy a pair of barefoot running shoes and think that you're never going to get injured again in the rest of your life. You might do, I don't know. And I'm a big believer in the saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Something along them lines. Basically, running in these, if it doesn't, you know, not giving me any grief and I can run in them well and improving them and they feel good, then why bother changing them? So that's why I've got into running in barefoot shoes. I really need to figure out a point to this video. I've got hair in my mouth. How the hell did that get there? So now I want to talk a little bit about Vivos. So these are Vivo Barefoot shoes. Why I've specifically chosen these. Now these were the first ones that I saw, and again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I've been with these and they work for me and they feel great. So this is why I've chosen these. And now another kind of perk, I suppose, of these shoes, which I found, is your traditional set of running shoes, they last, I don't know actually, because I've not really owned a pair properly. I think it's maybe between 100 and 150 miles of race shoes you get use out of. These ones here, like these exact ones, let me show you this so you believe me. That's the inner sole on one of them. They've got, I don't know if you can see that. I've done, I think it's over 1,500 miles in these. So that's easily over, what is that, 10 times more than you'd get out of a traditional set of running shoes. So you might think that £120 is expensive for a set of shoes. Not when they last 10 times as long as your traditional ones. So that's an extra bonus, I suppose, of these. And another quite good benefit is these are actually, so these ones are all made from recycled materials, which, you know, helping the environment. That's not a bad thing whilst you're doing it. A couple of other things is, well, which is why I love these shoes, is they're so light. I mean, they weigh nothing, like literally nothing, because they basically are nothing. It's just literally a sheet of material, and that's about it, with a slightly small thin sole, like a few millimeters. So they're silly light, like crazy light. And I hate the feeling of feeling like you're running with bricks on your feet, or, you know, with this, just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it feels like it's almost weighing you down, even if they're still light, but you can feel all the material and cushion and everything around your foot. It feels like it's restricting my foot. And then you see a lot of people, they wrench their laces so tight to their foot. I wear these, so they literally almost, I slide them on and off. I never do up or undo the laces. I love the loose feeling. It just feels, this is going to sound really like cringy and whatever, but it feels really natural for me, and like, I like the feeling. I don't know, like you see sprinters, they feel light on their feet and accelerate fast and feel powerful, basically. I love that light feeling and feeling like you can spring around, and especially on the trails and stuff, it feels really good. Another thing is cadence. Especially for Ironman, it's really important that you have a high cadence. Because these don't have a lot of cushion on the bottom, it almost forces you to have a high kind of tip-toey sort of tappy sort of kind of running form, I suppose. And that in turn, if you had a big thick sort of cushion underneath this, it kind of allows or encourages you or makes you feel like you can relax your running form in some senses and sort of stomp down a bit, and kind of like, because you've got cushion, it feels okay. With this, you can't do that. If you just jump down onto this, you're going to have nothing to support you. So it forces you to run with good form and like I say, keep that cadence high so you don't have big dumpy sort of footsteps. So you've got light sort of tappy footsteps, which makes you feel quick. And again, it feels way more natural for me and just a lot better. But yeah, like I say, just my experience. One last thing that I do find with these shoes is the fact that these shoes make me stand more upright. When you have a heel that's elevated and a lot of padding, it forces you forward. Now that is, sorry, That is good in some senses, because a lot of people say that when you run you want to be leant slightly forward and almost fall onto your feet. Now that's brilliant and that's well and good, and like I say, please take this with a pinch of salt. You know, don't listen to what I'm saying basically, but do listen, sort of. Equally, you don't want to be hunched, so you want to be upright, and they say run tall, but you don't want to be running like hunched. And you see a lot of people at the end of marathons and things like that, and when they're hunched and they're literally just dragging their... I'll insert a clip here of me finishing my marathon that my dad got. As you can see, I'm still standing upright. My posture looks really good, and I literally put it down to these shoes. You can't... It's almost impossible to run in these, for me anyway, like hunched and with bad form. So it just forces you to stay upright and look good and to run tall, and yeah, so, you know, I think I've rambled on enough about how good these are for me again. Having said all of that and all the benefits that I've found with these shoes, do I recommend that you go out and spend £120 on a set and try them? No, long story short. Like I said, this is just my experience and what I feel. You do read up a lot, and a lot of people probably hate that feeling, probably don't like the idea that you get no cushion underneath a shoe, especially on a long distance like a marathon. I don't recommend that you go out and do every single one of your runs in a set of barefoot shoes like this. The chances are, if you're used to running in traditional shoes, you'll get injured. It won't feel the same. It might feel okay or pretty good for a mile or so, but after that, you know, if you're not used to the shoe, you're going to struggle with it. Having said that, I do think that you should incorporate a bit of barefoot running into your, or at least try it in your schedule. Go down to the beach, do it on the sand. Yeah, you'll find somewhere with some soft ground, on grass maybe, that's a good one, and give it a go. Hopefully if you give it a go, you'll feel sort of the things that I say, like your increased cadence, because you have to, you know, you're running with better form on the toes, up in the forefoot, and it might help with, you know, when you do go back into your traditional running shoes on your next session, maybe you might carry over a bit of that running form, and it might help a little bit, I don't know. I think that's pretty much rounds up the video. So hopefully you took away something, and you know now why I run in such, what most people would say, silly running shoes. Right, I think that is enough of me rambling on about these shoes. I think you get the idea. I love them. Find what works for you is basically the key. These work for me. Let me know what you think and how my Ironman's going to go running in a very minimal set of shoes. It'd be interesting to hear your experiences with your running shoes, what you recommend, what you like, what you found that works really well for you. Anyway, I'll end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful and gained something from the video. Please make sure that you like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you wish. We've had quite a few new subscribers recently, which has been insane, and I absolutely love it. So please do. And I shall see you in the next video for some more triathlon related content. Let me know if you want any videos in the comments below, because I do read them and I will acknowledge them. There's a few on the list that people have mentioned that I'm going to get to very soon. So yeah, see you in the next one.